In this story, there is a man who is very unhappy. Life is so difficult. For him, everything is hard. He has to work a lot to earn a little bit of money. He hardly survives. He is always working hard. He is always miserable. It's terrible. One day, he decides to go and ask God, why is it that his life has to be so hard? So he set off on his way, crosses a wood, and in the wood he meets a wolf. And the wolf says, "Hello man, what are you doing here? It's dangerous. It's dangerous in this wood. You could meet wolves." And the man says, "Yes, of course, I know, I am taking risks. I am going to ask God the reason for my misery." The wolf says, "Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to eat you now. Then could you ask a question to God on my behalf?" And the man says, "Of course, I will." And the wolf asks, "Ask God, please, ask God, why is it that me, the wolf, am always hungry? I run about and run about and run about and catch prey. The more prey I can catch, the more I eat, but it's never enough. Why has God created the wolf if the wolf is to live always hungry?" And the man says, "Okay, I will ask a question. Very similar to mine, actually." And the man goes. At the beginning of the mountain, on the side of the road, there is a beautiful, beautiful young woman. And he says, "Hello, beautiful young woman." And she says, "Hello, handsome man. Where are you going?" "I am going to ask God because, my life is very difficult and I'm going to ask God the reason for that." And she says, "Could you ask a question on my behalf?" You say, "Of course, I will." And she says, "Look, as you can see, I am beautiful. I am rich as well. However, I am unhappy. I don't understand why. Could you ask God?" And the man says, "I will ask." And the man carries on his way, climbs the mountain. At some moment, he's tired, so he decides to take a rest in the shadow of a small tree. And the small tree understands that the man is going to ask questions to God. And the tree asks the man, "Could you ask a question for me?" And the man says, "A question on behalf of a tree? That's original. What is it?" And the tree says, "Look at all the other trees around. They are tall. They thrive. And I am small and twisted. How come I can't grow like the others?" "Ah," says the man, "that's an interesting question. I'll ask." And the man arrives on top of the mountain where God lives. And when he arrives, he says, "Hello, God." And God says, "Hello, man, I was waiting for you." And the man says, "Hello, my God, may I ask you a question?" God says, "Of course, you're here for that." "How come I am so miserable?" says the man. "Why is life so difficult for me?" And God says, "That's because I wanted to see you." "How?" says the man. "Yes," says God, "when it's too easy, people never come to me. So you came and I'm happy." "Ah," says the man, "yeah, you're happy, and me." "You are going to be happy as well," says God. "Go back home. I offer you your chance now. Go back home and grab your chains." And the man sets off on his way back, but God says, "Hey, you're forgetting something." "Ah, yes," says the man. And he asks the questions on behalf of the tree, the beautiful maiden, and the wolf. God gives the answers, and then the man goes back. And on his way back, the first character he meets is the tree. And the man explains to the tree that God says that there is gold between its roots. and a tree can't really grow well on gold. So the solution would to ask someone to dig out the gold that's in between the roots of the tree and put a good fertile earth instead, and all the tree's trouble would be over. And the tree says, "Oh, that's good news, now I know. So please, can you dig out the gold from between my roots?" And the man says, no, God told me to go back home and grab my chains. I have to go, I have no time for that. And the man goes. And at the bottom of the mountain, he meets the young maiden, the beautiful young woman. And he says to the young woman, God says that if you are unhappy, in spite of being beautiful and rich, that's because you're single. You must find a partner, a companion to share your joys and your sorrows, and then you will be happy. And the young woman says, yeah, I think God's right. Yeah, God is always right. Would you marry me? And the man says, no, I don't have time for that. I have to go back home and grab my chance. God gives me my chance. And she says, oh, that's a shame. Goodbye then. And the man goes through the wood and meets the wolf. And the wolf says, how was your journey? Oh, the man says, that's quite interesting. I met God, and actually on the way I met a young woman, and I met a tree, and the man tells all his story to the wolf, and eventually he says to the wolf, yeah, so I said to the tree that there was gold between his roots, and to the maiden that she had to marry someone, and you left them, says the wolf. Yes, said the man, I had to go back home and to grab my chance. Ah, said the wolf, but you didn't give the answer to my question. Yes, said the man, let me think. Ah, yes, God says that you must eat the greatest idiot on earth, and then you won't be hungry anymore. And the wolf says, I think that I have the greatest idiot on earth in front of me. And the wolf eats the man. And the man finds himself in front of God again.